Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 6 in our systematic factory. Today, we're working on Atmo suits so we can get out of the base and get into some of the more dangerous parts of the map. First thing we need to do before we can do that is get our power grid in a situation where we can handle it. So first things first, I connected all of this section of the power grid over to the SPOM. So now our sieve and our pump are going to be on the same network as that. And so basically the idea is we run out of power here. This does not stop. This is powered by itself, including the pump to draw the water in and the sieve to clean it, so that this can continue to run no matter what, as long as we don't run out of polluted water. This will run. What in the heck? Must have accidentally clicked while I was building that, and they came down and built a sink down in my abyssalite. Glad it didn't break the whole way through. I was trying to save that abyssalite. Oh boy. Anyway, so now all of that, I included these deodorizers on that power grids because they were over there and they only cost 5, so that'll be fine. So now this system will run as long as water is there to power it, or to fuel it, I guess you could say, because the water is what's creating our hydrogen for us. I have a little bit of mixed gases in here I would like to deal with at some point, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So the next thing we want to do is this power line. It says potential load 3065, but that's because there's a lot of mechatronics on it, and the mechatronics is a little misleading in its power. Theoretically, if every one of the pieces of the mechatronics network fired at the same time, I would have a load of 3065. Is that going to happen? No. Should I still be aware of it? Sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 2 new power lines to come down to the base, and I'm going to kind of split it into 2. So everything on the left will be on one, everything on the right will be on another. That way I don't end up overloading power. And then I'm going to have a third line that'll come down just for our Atmos suit docks, because that's going to draw a decent amount of power. So the first thing I need to do that is, now that I have the refined metal, I'm going to switch these over to large transformers. I should have just done that in the first place, but you know, I didn't. So I'm gonna get them put in, and I'm gonna get some lines run and start getting some power distributed properly through our base, so that we can really set up some things. I want to set up our Atmos suits, and then I also want to set up a skill scrubber, because I want to change some of the skill assignments for our duplicants. And the reason I want to do that is that all of my diggers are going to be going outside of the base, and once they get into an Atmos suit, since they are still low on skill points, if they don't have exosuit training, their athletics is going to drop to nothing, and it's going to take them so long to get anywhere they can't get anything done. So some of these I had put it into construction and different things, and some of them like this can't do certain things that I want to switch them around, and to do that I need to be able to wipe out their skill points to reassign them and move them around where needed. So to do that, what we need, I think it's under stations, we need a skill scrubber, and the skill scrubber just basically resets duplicant back to their no skill default. So we're going to get that installed, we'll get the power over to it, and then we will get our duplicants ready to go, so that we have a bunch of them that can leave once we have the Atmos suits set up. Gotten our first duplicant reset. So Jerry no longer has anything assigned, and I'm going to put him onto the supply team, but I want to look at these guys and see who has an affinity, if any, for what we need. So Leela is currently on the supply team, And she has affinity for the exosuit training, which means it would be cheap to get her into it. She also has an affinity for mechatronics, though. Let's see what else we got. This tune has an affinity for doctoring, which is why they're in that. And Fry... Well, Fry has an affinity for digging. And he currently has 6 skill points, just like... So let's wipe Fry's mine, and then we're going to swap these 2 duplicants. Basically what I'm going to do is this is going to become the duplicant that was formerly known as Fry. His skill points are now going to be assigned as such. So he would be... We need to get him here, so he needs this, 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 and this. So he's now our mechatronics person. Again, missed a capital letter in that name, and it's going to bug me, so I'm going to fix it. And then... We'll let this one get in there, but this is going to be our new dig Jerry after we reset him. So it's going to take a minute for him to go through the skill scrub in action, but once he is done, I will switch his skill points to where we need him to be for the dig team, and it'll be like they were never different. So there's Fry. Got his new hat on, and the old one is getting turned into Jerry. Much like the real Philip J. Fry. My new Fry that I just assigned here, or just wiped out, when I went to set up his skills, I did. And I set him to be a mechatronics engineer, and then I realized he is unable to do any construction. And so he's useless as a mechatronics engineer because he can't put in any of the things that I build with mechatronics. So I took Leela and Amy Wong and made them mechatronics engineers. And I am wiping Fry's mind once again. I'm going to set him up just to be a normal supplier instead of a mechatronics engineer because there's no point in spending those skill points. So let's just put him on the supply team. He'll get his mind wiped, and we'll fix him up. Right now the power is off down here because I'm waiting for these last few pieces of cobalt to connect my power grid again, and then we're just going to have to keep on making some refined metal so that we can expand that and start putting in our Atmos suit docks. But we do have our very first Atmos suit trained duplicant, Jerry. He has the ability to avoid the Atmos suit penalty, so his athletics will stay high even when he is out in a suit, which is great. He'll be able to actually go out and get some stuff done. We're going to get that set up for all of our diggers as we can. In fact, let's go through and check where people are at. This one I need to wipe because I want to take the construction off. Originally I was putting that in because she had an affinity for it. It's not really that valuable. It's more valuable to get them into exosuit training for now. Morty has his digging. So we need 2 more skill points to get him out. Same with Mr. Poopy Bee. We just have to keep getting more skill points. So I may set up a duplicant gym to put them in to get them to level up their skill points faster. That was odd. Let's see. I don't really want to deal with allergic to floral scents. Definitely do not want somebody that can't build. I'm already dealing with one of those. And I don't like binge eaters. So we're going to take the eggs. And then this is set to sweep only on the eggs, which is good. I can just grab them. Let's just do these 3. Instead of sweeping that whole pile, because I don't have anywhere for the pip eggs to go that are sitting there. Eventually I want to get that pip into a stable so that I can use them when I want to do things like making new nature parks or nature reserves. But I don't have, it's not a priority. Cool. So this is set up to drop the eggs in there so that they can be in the store. I also switched this one. This is going to do just the, these eggs, and it's going to be sweep only. So if I find any eggs out in the wilderness, I can sweep them up and they'll get sent here. They'll get dropped here. They'll get picked up by this and sent into the farm where they're supposed to go, which is good. We'll be set there. So right now we're just waiting on cobalt to be made. I may work on getting set up with a duplicant gym so that I can put these diggers in for training while we wait. Okay, if you're unfamiliar with the idea of using a gym, the idea is that you have manual generators that are set up for duplicants so that they can just run on them all day and get skill points. Why is this idling out? Do you not have enough oxygen? Maybe I need to put some airflow tiles in up here. Anyway, normally you would just run the power from the manual generator straight into a light bulb. I am trying to set it up here so that the power goes down through this transformer back into our power grid. I don't have any automation, so they should just run forever, and that means that power will help keep the batteries full. Normally I wouldn't worry about that, but since power is at a real premium right now, that's something that we need to do. I do want to do, and then I have it set up that only people I allow to go into the room are in, so I want to set it up here so that all of my digging team currently are allowed to go in, because I'm not doing any digging projects. I'm just working on getting them set up for our Atmos suits. So now they'll all be able to go in. I also went into their priorities and I set their operating all the way up, which means they see these generators. And if I set these at a higher priority, they're the only ones that can see them. They should be the highest priority thing they have to do. And they will run on these generators all day long and build up their skill points. And then once they have enough skill points to get to exosuit training, I will kick them out, and then they can go do other stuff. So the one that I did do was Jerry. He already has exosuit training, so I'm going to leave him not allowed to go into this door. Oh, I did the bottom door, not the top door. So he'll just be on default access. He's running on it now. As soon as he's done, he'll go out. He won't be allowed back in. And that means that he will be out doing our building projects as we need to. Well, I had originally wanted to reconnect and recapture the power from this, but what it was ended up happening is that these generators detected the batteries on and was kicking people off of the treadmills when there was enough power, and I don't want that. I want them to keep running all day long so that they get their training done. Beth, you should not be allowed in here. Why are you allowed in here? You're not allowed in here. How did you get through that door? Door default access is nobody's allowed in, and Beth, not allowed in. But she's in here. What are you doing, Beth? How are you breaking the rules? We were back out. Maybe refreshing it fixed it. Sure did. Okay. That was odd. She has gotten her exosuit, so she doesn't need it. She only has the first level of hard digging, which I'll need to get one or more, but for now I want to have some people out here. Once we get other people all maxed out in their training, we may put her back in, and we'll probably use this later on when we get new duplicants, because we want to make sure they get trained up to have exosuit training before they leave the base. But if you've never tried to send a duplicant out without exosuit training in an exosuit when they had low athletics, you are missing out. It's super painful, and nobody should ever have to experience it. So we're going to get started on putting in our Atmosuit system. So we need a checkpoint and several docks. I am going to start with 12 of them. It's going to take a little while to get all this built. I think I have enough cobalt, or I have enough queued up. But the first thing we want to do while we're doing this is, as soon as this checkpoint gets built, we want to disable it, because otherwise our duplicants will not be able to go through this door until the Atmos suit checkpoint is working. We're going to disable that. In the new update, from what I'm told, there's an automation part to disable or enable the checkpoint, which means we'll be able to do it using automation, which is pretty awesome. But we don't have that yet. So for now, we just have to disable it manually. We're going to switch those 2 blocks to a mesh tile. And we want to get rid of these 3, because we're going to put a pump in there. What happens is, if our duplicants are out in the world... Oops, I think I just deconstructed some power lines that I didn't want to deconstruct. Is there any other lines in there? Yeah, don't deconstruct the water line. Just deconstruct the building. Okay. If our duplicants are out, they're wearing an Atmos suit, and they are out too long and they make a mess, it stays in their suit. When they come back here and take it off, it spills on the ground, which will get into all kinds of messy problems. So to fix that problem, just put some mesh tiles right underneath here. I'm going to put a pump under there. Of course, that water line is there. Let me disconnect it here. We're going to reconnect over there. We'll let it empty out into our system. Let's pull it. Let's disconnect it here and here. That way it empties out more quickly. Actually, we can leave this line connected, because it won't backflow the other way. But then we're going to use this line to run up and hit this drain. So let's run that a while. I'll do a pipe up like this. Straight into that one. You know, let's just go like this. Guess I could have just drained the line that way. Let's do that. Once that gets built, it'll drain out in here. I already have some water in here, so it's not going to be a big problem. And then, basically what'll happen is anytime that they come back, if they have made a mess, the pump will pump it up and drop it off into our polluted water tank. And then we don't have to worry about that spilling into our base, getting into our clean water supplies or anything like that. So that has power. That has... Oop, you're going to seal yourself in. Of course you are, because why wouldn't you? Okay, that part of the system is all done. We need to get ventilation down to our docks. So, we're gonna do... Think about how I want to do this. I have an old trick that I use from an old Francis John video that really works. I'm going to set it up, and then I will explain it to you. Is that right, or is it? This is in the wrong spot. Well, I will explain the first one here as they're building it. So basically, as the gas comes down here, it jumps across this bridge. When it hits this output, it will round robin around all 4 of these, which means it'll fill all 4 of these suits at the same time, like one after another. Instead of it, if I just ran a line straight across, the line would go and it would have to fill, well, it would have to fill this one, and then it would fill this one, and then it would fill this one, and so forth. And the problem with that is that this suit is the one that's used most often, and it would be the last one to get filled. And so this system, it makes it so that it does the opposite of that. And so what we'll have here at the next section is we'll do a bridge here and one here. Of course, it won't let me do it because one was being deconstructed there. Nice little quirk of the game. And then this will come out. This will go here, 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 and here. And then the same thing up to here. We will do another gas bridge like this and like this. And then this goes to here, to here, to here, and to here. And then this will come back and we'll go up and connect it to our gas line. And that gas line is going to be this one here that we're currently using to feed our gym. And so when gas comes down here, it's going to hit this bridge and it's going to jump across first. And then it's going to hit this bridge and it's going to jump across first. And then it'll get here. It'll round robin fill these first 4, and then it'll back up. Once this is backed up, it'll start hitting here. It'll do the round robin on these 4, and then it'll back up to here, and then it'll do these 4. So it'll fill the first 4 in an even pattern first, and then the next 4, and then the next 4. And that pattern can repeat. And that makes it so that all of these early docks get filled first. Alternatively, you could send the line going the other direction and run our line in that way. But just makes it really simple. Bridges with priorities are really useful. All right, so that'll get oxygen into us. We're going to have to run a power line. And the next thing we need to do is set up an exosuit forge so that we can start crafting some exosuits to put into our system as well as repairing it. Somehow I managed to reset my timer on how long I've been recording, so I don't know how long it's been. So this episode might end up being a little bit long. We'll see. I want to check in on our achievement. Carnivore. Oh, look at that. 399,475. Next person to eat, which is this one right here. Is he going to wait until they finish eating? There we go. Colony achievement earned in cycle 94. Probably could have done it even faster, but there's our carnivore achievement. Now we can start eating any types of food we want. And so I am going to re-enable everything except for raw meat and raw pacu fillets. They can eat the swamp chard heart and stuff in case we run low on other things. But we made it, so that's good. We have everything set up here that we need except for one vital thing. And that thing is also something that's going to help with our fish farm. We need to get Thimbleweed. I've already scouted out the easiest place to get to it, and it's right here. So I'm going to come down here, debating whether I want to worry about mixing these fluids. I think it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to come down, and then that way this cold water can mix with this hot water, and we'll be good. So I'm going to come down like this. I'm going to dig down along the abyssalite. And then I'm going to come down the rest of the way. We're going to do a couple things down here. We're going to grab all of these thimble reeds. And while we're in here, we're going to put in a insulated wall. Let's go the whole way across. So we'll go like this, and we'll dig like this. That way we can seal this up so the temperature doesn't come out when this is running, and we'll just mix all this fluid together. It'll actually mean we can start breaking into this swamp biome and get some of the gold and stuff that's in here that we really need. Ooh, that's an anatomy poster. Is this our critter Fluxomatic? I think that it is. I think I recognize that poster. That's pretty cool too. We can start messing around with that. So once we have the thimbleweed, we need to get a farm set up for it. I think a good place to put that farm is going to be right in this area. So that's a pretty simple thing to do. We just put down some hydroponics tiles. Need 3 spaces above them, so let's do it here. $12 sounds like a great number. We'll put a tile there so they can get across. We're gonna have to deconstruct these ladders because they're gonna be blocking my thimble reeds. And we're gonna come up here like this. Let's see. We can repurpose this line here. Go like that, and like that. And that should be it, except for putting our thimble reeds in here once we get them. Thimble reeds grow really fast, so they'll give us a lot of seeds, and they'll give us thimble reeds to make our Atmos suits. So once we get down in here and grab them, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure if there's any seeds or not. I don't see any. But we'll get 4 from digging those up. And we'll have some reed fiber to start. And then we can use... Those 4 will quickly fill up the rest of these 12. No problem whatsoever. They drop seeds at a 10% chance and they grow every 2 cycles. So we should get plenty of them. We have made our first Atmos suit. We also have 3 thimble reeds planted. These will not take long to grow. They only take 2 cycles. And they use a decent amount of polluted water, but not a huge amount. So we have enough for now. What we need to do next before we enable this Atmos suit is seal up the rest of the base so there's no way for people to get in and out. So as far as what I want to have in here, I'm going to come down to here, and I'm going to come up like this. Actually, no. I do want the thimble reeds inside our base for sure, because I want them to be able to continue to repair Atmos suits without having to use an Atmos suit to get more thimble reed. So we'll close like that. We can close this, though I don't think they can get to that. So let's put a ladder here and here so they can do it. I don't need to put a wall here, technically, because they obviously can't get through there, but I'm going to put one because I will probably end up connecting that and then having issues with it. So we're just going to close that up. This side can stay where it is because this is all technically inside the base for now. And then all we need to do is close up this here. And then it should make it that the only way in and out is this door once all those are built. And what that means is I can limit access of who goes outside and who stays inside, and make it so that when they go outside they have to put on an Atmos suit. And that is done with this setting. Currently it's set to always permitted. I want it to be clearance vacancy only. So once we enable this, somebody can leave if they have an Atmos suit. They can only come back in if there's an empty spot, which means that they'll always restock their Atmos suit on their way back in. So we won't end up with a situation where people can't get in or out because of their Atmos suits. You can see right here what I'm talking about with our oxygen. These all filled up, and now we're on the last one. And when the oxygen gets to here, it goes one at a time to each of these. So these are filling evenly, which means it's a pretty even way to get the docks all filled up. The neat little trick. Stole it from Francis John, not gonna lie. If I remember to, I'll try to find the video where he explained it and link it. All right. So this is going, that's good. Oh, I think I'm gonna remove, actually, let's just make it so nobody can go in or out this door. It's effectively a wall. That way I don't have to dig it up for now. So that's good. Nobody can get through there. I'll probably put a... Nah, let's leave it open for now. Just because I want this oxygen to flow around. And then we'll probably close this off up here. Because I don't want people going up into that salt biome without an Atmos suit on. So we'll go like that. Which means we're probably going to need a couple of ladders to get that built. Yeah, let's close this off. That oxygen's not that important. It's more important to make sure... Actually, let's do it right here. That way we don't have anybody going out there and getting into this area without an Atmos suit. Because we're gonna have them... Oh, of course. Of course you get on the roof to put those tiles in place. Silly, silly duplicants. Because this is gonna get sealed and then they're trapped up there. Yep. Okay. Come back around this way. Get back inside, Beth. Silly, silly duplicants. Always trying to find ways to trap or kill themselves. I have some stress going on. Did I set his skills up too high? Yeah, he doesn't have any morale. Is it? I think it's just because I just reset him, so he hasn't slept or used the thing yet. Let's follow him for a minute, just to see. What's his schedule? Oh, I never put this duplicant onto a new schedule. That's why his name is still set as the default. He's a digger. Where do we need a digger? Dig. Dig, 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 dig. So any of them is fine. The only one that doesn't have two people is shift 6. So welcome to shift number 6. What did I actually name you to? That's Sleepy Gary. He's the newest guy. That's why he's so stressed out. Or no, that's Mr. Poopy B that's stressed out. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Let's check our skill points. None of our diggers have gotten them. We got 3 people up to Atmos suits already. It's Beth, Jerry, and Mr. Poopy B. But I want to see how he settles out once he sleeps and see if his skills are set too high. Because if he doesn't have the morale to make it through it, then he will also be ineffective outside. But for now, I can set Beth and Jerry to go out. I think I'm ready to do it. So let's do... This is going to be set to auto. And then we're going to set it so that only people are allowed to come back in by default. And then we're going to set Beth to have access to go out. And Jerry to have access to go out. And that should make it so that only those 2 will go out and they'll always have suits on when they do. I don't have this many suits, but I'm going to set them to deliver. That way they will put them in as they make them, as we get reed fiber. We're already up to 4 plants. It always takes a second for them to get growing, because they have to warm them up from the water going in. But they'll get there. The water going in is warm enough to keep the plants growing. It looks like everybody's head back in. Let's enable this building. And this is set so that people can come back in. So if anybody's currently out, they'll be able to come back in. But once they're in, they will not be able to go back out unless they have an Atmos suit, or they're allowed to go out. So it looks like we have everything set up really good to do it. Let's do a test here and just do a high-level sweep on this and see who goes to get it. Well, we still have people allowed out because of that. Oh, they're able to get out up here. There we go. I knew I would find a spot. So let's see. How do we want to close this off? Let's close it off right here. Sometimes our build commands are still taking a little while because a lot of our builders are still in training, which means that other people have to be doing jobs that they're not really supposed to. So it takes a minute, but we'll get it. Okay, so now I think everything is sealed. Let's try this again. Let's grab this mallow seed, sweep it, priority 9. Who goes to get it? There we go. Beth ran to get it because it's only her and Jerry that can. That's excellent. And Rick just earned a skill point. Let's check his levels out. He is now exosuit trained. So once they hit exosuit training, a couple of things happen. We take them off of here. So Rick no longer has access to go in there. We have to do it for both doors. We add them to this list as able to go out. And did I give him his helmet? I did. So now Rick's also able to head on out. And let's check out, last thing we're going to do in this episode. Oh, actually I was on the right screen. Mr. Poopy Bee. Now that he's slept, his morale's up nice and high. He's still good. So let's go down here. He is now able to join his other exosuiters outside. Where is he at? There he is. So now we have 4 duplicants allowed to go out. We have a couple more that are in training. Once we get these all up, we'll probably take 1 from each of the other teams and put them in there for training at a time. And start exploring the map. So in the next episode, we're going to start our mission to get down to the oil biome and up to the space biome. Hope you enjoyed watching this one, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.